before we understand where you're going, let's talk about where you've been. Can you talk a little bit about how the M3 and Paymerang relationship was forged, the history there? Can you talk a little bit about
It is,
that?
I love talking about this. And I think I repeat this so much, I think people get tired of hearing it. Or, it's one of the things where I told them that story before. But great story. It started back in 2018. Happened to be at the lodging conference. Met a gentleman who introduced me to some people here at M3. And we kind of forged conversations for about a year. And it really had to do with, what we do, what you do, and how do we really help the industry? Like, what's the industry currently doing? And then what can we help them with on the payables on the back end? And what we found was what the industry was actually doing was what we call fragmented payments. They were not really using credit cards to pay things. If they were, it was a personal card. They were maybe doing some ACHs, but really just didn't want to enroll people because it's just a hassle to do that, plus the security issue. And mainly still writing checks, right? And then dealing with fraud, dealing with all that stuff. And it was so fragmented. It was just chaos. I called it controlled chaos. You and I talked about that. Like, I'm not sure how it ever happened. And so to be able to take that and have a vision of, okay, how do we do this? How do we really help them, right? Because the one thing is people have software a lot of times. And they just want to push it on you and say, well, this software is great. And the idea is, first you have to identify what's the problem. The problem here is that we're dealing with multiple ways of paying vendors. It's very inefficient. It's exposed to fraud, and there's really no follow-up, and we're doing all the work. And as we add hotels, we're just having to add staff and add people, and there's no economies of scale. There's no benefit, right? And every time a management company adds a hotel, they're like, oh gosh, how many more people do we have to hire to do all this work? So to be able to see that vision of, okay, we're going to now take that chaotic process and we're going to create one file. And that one file is going to take care of all your payments. And it's going to mitigate all the fraud issues you're dealing with. It's going to eliminate the reconciliation that you're dealing with. It's going to provide some rewards back to you on a cash basis. And it's really going to take away all that busy manual work that you're doing and give you the tools to manage it, but to be able to do other things. Right. To see that vision come into play, where we literally started with this great idea, and now to see thousands of hotels and hundreds of management companies adopt this technology. And then I know it's good because now there's a lot of other people that want to do this, right? There's other companies who are trying to mirror what we do. And to see that vision and then talk to people about, I have no idea how we paid our bills before we had Paymerang. And to get that type of feedback at a conference or in a conversation or just in a review, it's been so rewarding for me personally. You don't usually get that. You just don't usually get that. Usually when you're in a market, you get some feedback that's not there. But I think that vision of what we've been able to accomplish and hear from the customers has been personally and professionally rewarding.